first Monday of the month. Oh, you aren't the All-Star Award. We just had the All-Star Award.
I think I'm an All-Star.
Well, not that All-Star Award.
No, not that All-Star.
Not that
Not that All-Star.
No, we don't want that one. That's what we give to non-library card holders.
Okay, yeah. We have a special All-Star for library card holders.
Now, is the newsletter gone out?
It's out to print, so people should be getting it in their mailboxes relatively soon, in the next few weeks, couple weeks.
I love it. I'm telling you what, I hate mail. And I tell people that all the time. I always laugh because I get these little magazines that have all these ads in it, and I'm thinking, folks, this is just getting thrown right in the trash.
Right.
You know, sorry, it's just going right in the trash can. And you know what? With a newsletter, though, it really makes you feel like an Altonian. You know, there's just something about it.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like just seeing it. You know, it just puts a smile on my face. It gives me a sense of community pride getting it in the mail.
Yeah, we've talked about maybe like redesigning it and things. I'm like, you know what? It's kind of at this point. This is what it sounds bad because this is what it looked like when I was a kid. But you know, it's like come up with a new one. But people recognize it when it pops up in the mailbox.
It's branding in a different way because there's no way you can change it now.
I don't think so.
Well, and just the look of it, it really feels like the library. You know, it's just your guys' touch.
Yep.
And now, I mean, there's a lot of exciting stuff coming.
There's
down
a
the
lot
pipeline.
that's coming up.
You just got back from Phoenix.
I did.
How was your trip?
It was great.
Did
Thank
you
you.
fly or
we
drive?
flew.
Oh,
we flew.
good
Short
for you.
weekend.
Good
Short
for
weekend.
you.
Went to see some
That's
family.
a long drive.
Yeah, it is. Well, we went on Friday and came home last night, so it's a too long to drive. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd
for
be
that
terrible.
short of a time.
That'd have been terrible.
Be the
All right,
worst trip
hello.
to
Now we
Phoenix
gotta go. We saw Phoenix. Now get back in the car.
Exactly.
So where do we start?
So I thought one of the things I thought we'd talk about today are just a couple of the programs that are coming up, and then maybe talk about how to get a library card because we always talk about the library, but I don't think we've ever talked about how to actually get a card. So,
oh my God, you're right.
Yeah, it dawned on me on the way in here. I was like, oh, we've never talked about how to actually get a card, so let's do that. So,
perfect.
But we do have a couple programs coming up. We've got Scott Latham and Carl Holmes duo. They're going to be at the mall upstairs in the performance room. I don't know if you've ever seen them before, but Scott is a musician, an arranger, and a composer. And then Carl Holmes does every imaginable impersonation you can think of. One person, he can do Al Green, Ray Charles, Barry White, Michael Jackson, Prince, Marvin Gaye, Nat King Cole, Elvis, Frank Sinatra, Tom Jones, The Temptations. He even does all the Temptations.
No way!
Yes. All 5 Temptations voices by himself. And it's a really fun evening, so it's going to be...
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be Tuesday, March 19th. It's free. Anybody's welcome to come at 6:30 p.m.
At Alton Square Mall?
At Alton Square Mall. It's probably... I'm not adult programming as in, like only adults, but I don't know how, kids might have a blast. I don't know.
That is really cool. How long have they been going to you guys?
They've been coming for several years, actually, and people love them. In fact, we didn't have them in our last quarter, and somebody came up to me at one of the programs and said, when are you having Scott and Carl come again? And I said, oh, and somebody else heard it and said, yeah, we want to see them. And I said, okay, we'll get them next quarter. So yeah, they're coming on March 19th.
Is it the concert, is it music or is there a little humor in his?
A little of both.
That's what I thought. Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah, they have a good time together.
You can't just do an Elvis impersonation without sticking a pillow in there, dancing around.
Exactly. Having a little fun with that. Yeah.
So what time is that again in date?
That's on Tuesday, March 19th at 6:30 p.m. upstairs in our Alton Square Mall performance room. And we ask people to call and register if you can. It's 1-800-613-3163, or you can just call the library and we'll transfer you to that extension.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then before we move on, I wanted to ask you, because I just saw Ed Wheatley's Facebook today.
Oh, yeah.
What date is he going to be on?
So Ed is coming. I've got him right here. He's coming on Wednesday, April 3rd. Okay. And that's going to be in the new newsletter, but that's at that weird time where the newsletter should be in mailboxes, but not 100% sure. So he's coming on April 3rd at 6:30 p.m. at the mall library downstairs in the mall library itself.
He had a great post today. There was 4 men that were still alive that walked on the moon. And he put on his Facebook, he goes, 4 men still alive that walked on the moon and only 3 St. Louis Browns players left.
Wow.
Isn't that
really?
wild to think about?
Wow, yeah,
he put that up today, and I just thought about that and then thought about his conversation coming up.
Yep.
If you haven't heard this yet, I'm telling you what, I've had the luxury, whether I was with Ray over in the St. Louis airwaves or we're just on the show, it's such a wealth of knowledge.
He really is.
And he tells
really
the story, Mary, in a way that it's not like this bullet A to B to C to D.
Yes.
It's really well-rounded.
He's a storyteller. He's won awards for his storytelling, and he has so many great facts. And just, if you love any kind of sports in St. Louis, he's not going to just focus on one. He's talking about everything from chess to baseball, wrestling, all of that. So he's going to be coming, and it's free. We'd love for everybody to come. Bring the kids. It'll be a really interesting if you have young ones that are getting into sports, and just to know the history of the sports that we have in our area is something that's kind of amazing.
Well, and just we have some unique trivia notes and just historical significance with our sports too. So when you go, you're actually going to learn some completely new stuff. It's not things you hear every day either.
When he was sending me some of the trivia to put in his write-up in our newsletter, I was like, I didn't know that. Really? I didn't know that.
But it's one where you almost, he's 100% honest, but it's so really? And you have to almost Google it yourself just to see it.
How did I not? I grew up here. How did I not know that?
I just wanted to make sure we got that across.
He'll be on April 3rd at 6:30 p.m. at the mall. So come on out for that.
And now that's really cool. I'm looking on your newsletter right now. I did not know that you guys did filing for 1040s.
Well, we had that program. That was in January.
Oh, did I miss it?
We did. Yeah. Well, no, you didn't miss it. The rain or the snow and the ice. Yeah. that kind of
forgot all about that. Hell.
We were going to have the IRS come in and help us talk to people about how to file their taxes through My Tax Illinois, but the weather took care of that one for us. I had my little note here was for April 8th because we're giving out free eclipse glasses.
Oh,
so our area isn't in the complete totality like we were in 2017, but we're pretty close. I think we're going to be in 60% or so. So we've got free eclipse glasses.
I'm going to look right up there at it.
Yeah. right.
The most iconic shot of 2017. I will never forget that picture from the White House.
I know. I'm staring straight into the sun.
It doesn't matter where you sit politically. It was just the fact it happened.
Yes, exactly. So we've got free eclipse glasses. We're going to start handing those out. I'm going to pull them out tomorrow and get them out to the library. So don't come in today to get them, but start tomorrow. I'll get those out for everybody. And we'll have those up until the eclipse, which is on April 8th. So, you can get those.
Did you see that on the news where you can fly the eclipse pad?
I did. How much money do you have to have that could be a thing?
Well, my thought too is I hate getting on an airplane.
Right. Exactly.
Why would I want to sit on an airplane for 3 hours to go through this?
Right.
No, thank you.
Well, and I read something where the state of Arkansas its population is going to double that day because it's in the path of totality. All the people coming in, and Northern Texas has it, and their Department of Transportation is considering an emergency warning because there's going to be so many cars on the road. So, just stay here, watch 60% of it, get your free eclipse glasses from the library.
Well, and the other 40% you don't see it on the news later because there's going to be some way that you'll see this thing.
Exactly. So, we have those for everybody.
And, so, any time you can stop by the library?
Yeah, starting tomorrow. And I would come mid-morning because I have to get them out. I've got to distribute them. We've got to get them out to the mall. So I would come after lunch.
How do you guys get all that stuff? I've never really asked that question, but never understood that.
So we have all of our new materials are processed at our downtown location in our administrative offices. We have a department. I'd love to get the technical services department on here to talk about it. But basically, the short of it is that everything's processed downtown, and then we actually have maintenance department that takes materials back and forth between the locations from Hayner, and then we have a courier from all of the things that are requested through the Illinois Heartland Library System through interlibrary loan. They're dropped off at Alton Square.
Wow.
And then our maintenance department brings those back and forth between the two locations. So everything that's brand new, starts downtown, and then gets distributed out to the other locations.
That's super cool. And I wanted to plug this real quick. I don't know if you saw Thursday, Lee Cox came by, and we were talking about...
Alabama Story.
And she gave you a hell of a plug.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Just a heck of one.
Great.
And it was really cool to hear how... And she said it on the show, so I'm not... Just in case people go, CJ, why are you saying this? She was talking about how her husband was sick at the time, and she needed some books on education and how to deal with that certain illness. And she talked about really having those, and then other opportunities you provided for her. Plus, anytime she asks for something, you always try to find a way.
Yes.
Was it a script or a book that you had to get over to her?
I'm not probably a script if I had to guess, because we can get it. That's the thing that people don't realize. We can get almost anything. So if there's a manuscript or a script or a movie or a play that somebody wants, we can try to get that through interlibrary loan. And it doesn't have to be just in our area. We've gotten things from all the states. I feel like we've maybe gotten something from Hawaii. That might be the one state we haven't gotten something from. But we've gotten them from. We've had something from Alaska through interlibrary loans, so we can get it here.
All I
we
got
can
from
get it
Hawaii
here.
was food poisoning. But I really just wanted to give a shout out to that because she talked about
That's wonderful.
that library card.
Little theater. You know, I know they say, oh, the libraries, little theater. We're so lucky to have them too. So
I told everyone whenever I had you guys come on the show, it really hit my jackpot because I wanted Alton Little Theater and you guys. That was the two Alton places I wanted to promote more than anything. Mm-hmm. And the reason being is because of all the things y'all do.
Yep.
But we were talking about library cards, and they hear me kind of ramble about them. But really, let's go through what comes with that library card.
Yeah. So to get a library card, a Hayner library card, I should say, you have to live in Alton, Godfrey, or Foster Township because you pay taxes if you live in Alton, Godfrey, or Foster Township to the Hayner Public Library District. So that entitles you to a library card. So to get a card, you can just come in, you can show your ID as long as it has your current address on it. That's all you need. If it doesn't, just bring in a piece of mail, something that shows you live in our library district, and then we'll get you a library card, just photo ID. That's all it takes. We do have online registration at our website, which is haynerlibrary.org. We recently, the entire Illinois Heartland Library System recently switched over to a new software. So there's that one piece isn't working just yet, but we're working on getting it working. But yeah, just stop by the library and pick up a card. It takes literally 5 minutes.
So why don't we do this? I'm going to show you how to. Oh wait, so you said online's not working just yet?
It's not working just yet, but you can
we
go
show
ahead and
them?
Yeah, sure.
I just wanted to show you this on our screen here.
Yep.
Let's go on the scene here. So, there we go. You can't see that.
Yep.
So we go right here. How do I? Mm-hmm. Library services. Mm-hmm. Get a library card, and then
that's all the information, and then you just click right there, and normally it will take you straight to a link. Right now, it's taking you to our online card catalog, but normally it will take you straight there. So,
but that's seriously it, folks.
Yeah.
You go to that. You go to the library.
It's even easier than that. Actually, scroll all the way up to the top. See the very, very, very top. Above
card sign up.
You just click right there, and it takes you
get a library
card, and then you go
right
straight to it.
Again.
So
I like this showing the screen too.
Yeah.
That way they can watch along with us at home.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just really wonderful. And my thing is too. We always talk about some of the different programs, but just the everyday savings that you could accrue.
Yes.
I saw that Netflix is like $24.99 now.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
You guys with the cards, you get ad-free, for free movies and TV with Biblio Plus.
Oh, yeah.
There's all these different opportunities. What comes with the library card, man?
So with a library card, like you said, you've got access to lots of online resources. So if you can't get to the library or you're busy and you think, I came down and got my card, but I don't really have time to come down. If you're on that website, again, if you just go to the online, I think it says online resources.
Yep.
And the very top one is, I can't remember what it says. I think it's, I'm not seeing the screen. Yeah, online databases is access to all kinds of different things like consumer reports, different websites for small businesses. There's legal forms on there. If you're interested in starting a small business, there's information on doing that. There's homework help. And then if you scroll back up to the top, and I'm sorry, I'm not really able to see it. Ebooks and digital collections. Mm-hmm. The second one down is ebooks and digital magazines. Patrons can get straight to there. There's Cloud Library. There's Overdrive, which gives you access to ebooks, audiobooks, digital magazines. There's a couple thousand different digital magazines. There's children's ebooks and games. There are Biblio Plus, like you said, which is free streaming movies and TV shows, unlimited. All of that is free with your library card.
Well, I love the kids games too because I was seeing something the other day that was really fascinating to me. And what it was that they're finding out that these kids apps and stuff that parents are downloading for their kids to play and know they're safe are actually one of the biggest risks for having your data shared.
Yep, exactly.
And because they're not from trusted companies, they're just from a guy that developed an app that's trying to get your data. Mm-hmm. And now, I mean, to have a safe spot to go where hey, nothing's getting tracked, no one's collecting your data. This is from a safe and reliable company. Tumble Books for Kids is just wonderful too. That's what I think is great is the fact that you can do all this on your own. Yeah. But there's a lot of unknowns in the world of online.
There are a lot of unknowns.
And you don't want with all the ways. I mean, I'm telling you, I freaked out the other day, Mary, because I was paying my city bill and I was paying sewer, and all of a sudden I went to hit pay and my credit card popped up and said, type in your 3-digit security card to pay the bill. And I went, oh my God, I'm getting this off of here right away.
Yeah, it says, do you want to save your credit card information?
No,
I do not. that.
And this is why, because when you have those third-party apps and all of those things, they collect all of that data.
They do. And that's the one thing we don't do. And, I know sometimes people, like, for instance, on your library card, one of the things you can do is you can track your reading history. Because if you're like me, you can't remember everything you've checked out. And then somebody will say something, you'll go, oh, I read this book. Let me see if I can find it. We don't keep track of that history.
Yeah.
You can turn it on. It's your option as a patron to turn it on, but we don't keep track of what you're reading. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm glad we talked about that because more and more people are getting worried. And I've noticed that too. There was these apps, because you watch YouTube and there's those stupid games, where you swipe left or right to get the coins. One day I downloaded it just to see. All it was an app to collect your data with an awful mini game.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's all safe. That's why I think the biggest call to action is when you go through your services, that you're in a safe avenue of the internet, which
and the information is correct.
Exactly.
And that's the other thing too, even people who are very literate, online literate, you still don't know where this information is coming from. And so on these databases and things that you're using for research, they've been vetted, they've been edited, they're written by professionals, and you can trust them, especially if you're doing schoolwork. So, but you can get all kinds of digital information. At the library, we have copy machines, we have scanners, we have a fax machine that's built into ours. Because every once in a while, somebody still needs to fax something.
No kidding.
Where can you go? You can come to the library and do it for free. You can scan to a flash drive for free. I know. Every once in a while, people still need that. So we have it. We've got Wi-Fi. We've got hotspots you can check out and laptops you can check out with your card. Like we said, you can actually use your public library card at any. Illinois is great about public libraries, so you can use your public library your library card at any public library in the entire state. So if you're up in Chicago, you can pick something up while you're up there, like maybe an audiobook, listen to it on the way home, return it at Hayner, we'll send it back up to Chicago. You can do that. We can get interlibrary loan materials from across the country. It's great.
Well, I was listening. It was kind of funny. And I'm not saying it's because of us, but I'm going to hint that it's because of us, just in case one of the hosts is listening to the show today. I was listening to one of the radio stations in St. Louis that I happen to used to work for, and I started noticing all these St. Louis Public Library commercials. And it's because I think sometimes they happen to watch the show and realize the resources that await you. But I was listening to some of their calls to action, and I was sitting there going, when I think of St. Louis County, I think of all this, because there's a lot more funds that go through St. Louis County than Madison County. It's just true.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, this should be interesting. Let's see what they offer. The same exact stuff. Literally the same exact stuff. Yeah. I couldn't believe how you guys are really just neck and neck with the major city library system. That's a huge, huge testament.
Thank you. Yeah, we're really appreciative of that. And we have staff who really are very good at what they do, and they're constantly keeping an eye out for new materials, new products, new things that would be helpful to our patrons. And, there's a lot out there, so we have to really take a look at, sometimes people come and say, well, how come you don't have this? Well, because maybe only a handful of people are going to take advantage of it, and we have to look at the bigger picture. But we're always keeping our eye out for what's new and what can we try. So,
well, and that's what I think is really cool too, is the fact that we have those opportunities. And that's what my biggest call to action is really, Mary, is the fact that so many times everyone always likes to look out and out, but I mean, we literally have the same thing as major cities have.
We
right
really
here
do.
in our
We
library
really do.
district.
And a shout out to our local libraries too. So you can take your Hayner library card and use it at East Alton, Wood River, Edwardsville, any close public library, if you're back and forth between those places a lot, and you can return things back and forth at each other's libraries. So that's kind of the nice thing too. Just because you check it out at one place doesn't mean you can't return it at another.
100%.
And it'll get back to us.
Well, I wanted to shout this out because I really didn't have a handle on things until just now. So this on your Library of Things tab, there's now instruction manuals for all of these. I never saw it before.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at this, an automotive code reader, an Epson, is that Epson?
Epson.
Epson projector, a portable PA speaker. And that's perfect for, like the RiverBend CEO groups out there. Renting a sound system's $500.
It's expensive. Just check it out for free.
Exactly.
And it's nice. I mean, it really projects quite loudly.
I'm sure it does. And, I mean, even for a family, maybe they have a family gathering for a birthday party and they want some music. There you go.
Bubble machine. So we were out in Phoenix this weekend. We walked past, the kids had a little group, and there was a bubble machine. And I was like, oh, you can check that out at the library. And Paul turns around and says, my husband says, is there anything you can't check out at the library? I said, not really. I mean, there's something for everybody, but bubble machine is one of them. So,
well, and I'm only noticing this because you have the instruction guide for some of them. The other thing I always thought about, because this happened to me during my junior year in the most important testing period of anyone's life, my TI-84 Plus went out. I had no calculator at the last second, literally the day before all the fun began. And if that ever happened to you, guess what? You go to Hayner Library, rent it for the day, borrow it, get through what you need, and then you're taken care of.
Well, the other thing too is like maybe your kids just have like a 2-week course that they're taking where the teacher says you need a TI calculator. They're $100 and something.
You're 100% right. I never thought about that.
So just check it out for a couple of weeks, get yourself through that little test, and then bring it back.
My mom was so PO'd because of geometry, my high school.
Yes, mine too.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
How much is this calculator?
And you only need it for 2 weeks?
Exactly.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, so check it out from us.
But, we're middle class families, so we don't have all the money in the world to go spend $200 at a time. And I remember her on the phone trying to text people, do you have a calculator just to get through this?
Yes, my mom was like, take care of that because your next sister is going to use it, and then the following one, and then the one after that. So you need to take care of that stuff.
Well, and just like this too, I mean, I'm looking at just the most unique things, like a stand mixer, cake cutters, a harp.
We do. We have a little harp. Yeah.
Well, and that's what I think. This is the coolest thing you guys do, and here's why. All of these are different genres. They're different categories. And just like you guys do in terms of learning, in terms of reading, in terms of resources, there's all these different genres and categories. There's literally something for everybody.
There is. We tried to think of like just this to start it out. And we're adding new stuff all the time. So we're getting ready, or I think we might have actually just added them. We have some board games for families that have children with vision issues. So we have Braille board games, and we have that we're getting ready to check out because we have some kids who are coming in who have this need, and those kids should also be able to use the library just like everybody else. And so we saw a need, and one of our staff members said, I think we could really use this. And it's like, well, if you think we can use it, let's do it. And so we're going to see how it goes. But we tried to look at everybody. Maybe there's people that are into baking, but then there's also people you're moving. So we have a moving kit. So those straps that you can use to move heavy furniture, and the coasters, and everything from baking kits down to moving supplies. So
well, and then that's what you read it, because I was going to ask you. I didn't realize you had a literal moving kit like shoulder dolly and furniture slides, those little things, you
need them once.
Exactly.
You need them once.
And then, you go over to a place and you try to rent it out and it's not there. And if you rent it, you still got to pay the money for it.
Exactly.
And use your library. Yeah. And, I wanted to hit on that because, there's just that little cherry on top to what you all do, because the resource guides and the ebooks and the digital collections are so top notch and really well stacked. You're going to find everything.
You are. And I wrote an article for the upcoming newsletter, and I talked about what you can do with your library card. And I'm really happy about that article because I think there's so many things people don't realize that we do just on a day-to-day basis. But I had to do a count for how many things we have. I think we're up to like 185,000 books. Physical books in the collection, and that doesn't include the electronic resources. So I mean, people think, you've got the moving kits and all that. Do you still do books? Yeah, we still do books. We have 185,000 of them for you to pick from. So so we still have, in addition to all these really cool things we're doing, we still are mindful of the fact that we're a library, and we still have everything from the traditional library user to somebody new who's like, I'm all digital. I don't want to come do that.
Because we're in a unique period of transition, because there's still a few holdouts where we ain't get exactly. And I'm there on a lot of things.
Yeah.
I hate, you should see my office. We have one of the best CRMs out there, and I use paper all the time.
I do too. I'm always walking around. I'm surprised I don't have one taped to my purse now. A Post-it note taped to my purse. Paulie says, there's a notepad and a calendar on your phone. I'm like, yeah.
But I don't check it.
I don't look at it. I look at my purse. I pick my purse up.
When I write it down, I remember it better too.
Exactly. Exactly.
So while we're talking, we have about a minute left. How do we get our library card?
So come to either the downtown library, which is at 326 Bell Street, or the Alton Square location, which is on the lower level of Alton Square Mall. Walk up to the desk and bring your ID with you, your photo ID ID with you. If you're over 18, just bring that in. If it has your current address on it, that's all you need. It takes 5 minutes. Alton Godfrey or Foster Township.
There you go. At 10:59, that's how we'll say goodbye right now. Get your library card in for more information. Check out the article. That'll hit your phones, computers, sometime in the next 24 hours.
Hopefully.
Mary Court.
Yep.
Mary, thank you so much for your time
you.
as always. All of you, I'll see you back here on Tuesday for more of our daily show. Enjoy the 70 degrees.
Beautiful.
I'm getting outside today too.
Yep.
On that note, I'll see you tomorrow and try your best to stay out of jail.